In this Power City weekly live stream, we're going to be getting into the lay of the land in crypto and also looking at some math regarding some of our borrowing and lending protocols, the Earn protocol and Flex protocol. But with no further ado, let me bring up my partner in crime, Mr. Just Ask Jesse in the house.
Hey, y'all.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I'm wearing red. I'm not sure you noticed. Well, kind of red. It's the first day of the Lunar New Year. Chinese New Year for people out there, and it's the year of the snake, and that doesn't sound very good because snakes aren't really in the West. We don't think of snakes as a nice animal, but in China, it's going to be a good year because it's about shedding their skin, shedding negativity. So hopefully, we can shed some negativity around Pulse Chain, right? This year.
All right,
and
nice. Hey, fun fact: I used to own a snake.
Oh, really? What snake?
I had a ball python, like long time ago, 25 years ago or so. Had a ball
How
python.
big was that?
I don't know. It got to be like 4 or 5 feet long, and we didn't secure the lid down. My wife and I didn't secure the lid. We had a big fish tank that it was in, and it learned how to push the lid off and get out. And I came home one day from work, and the snake was missing, and I was like, where's the snake?
What?
It's not in the tank anymore. And it had escaped, and we had a cat at the time as well, and those two had gotten into a fight. The snake was alive. It was like hiding behind the couch, but it had a claw mark on its back from where the cat had tried to swipe at it. But it was fine. Picked it back up. And
I thought you were going to say the cat was like strangled to death.
No. The cat was still alive, but the snake had a permanent scar, from that point forward from the claw mark.
Well, hopefully this year of the snake in the Lunar New Year is going to be better than your snake being scarred. How long did it live after that, by the way? I'm interested now.
I don't know, because my wife and I started to have some children, and she didn't want the snake in the house.
Okay.
So we ended up giving it away to another couple who didn't have any kids.
Okay, well, that's a crazy. You've always got a good story, whether it's on stream or off stream. In the green room before or after. Jesse's always got a good story. So if you hang out with Jesse, it's not going to be a boring time. Let me tell you that. In other news, obviously Trump's in power. We've seen a few. Let me bring this up. We've seen a few changes in regarding kind of bullish for crypto, right? He signed an executive order on digital assets, seeking recommendations on regulations and a possible digital stockpile, right? A Bitcoin reserve. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that part's interesting. Hopefully he makes do on that campaign promise, where it's no longer going to be acceptable for the government to sell crypto that they've seized, right? So just so everyone listening gets the context of this, when the U.S. government seizes, let's say, drugs, from some sort of crime, they don't sell the drugs; they destroy them. Right? When they seize things that they think they can sell, such as a car, or seize somebody's property, their home, or even their crypto, they dump it, right? Well, if the U.S. government is to the point where they're seizing an entity's crypto, usually it's a lot, right? It's some sort of big, giant operation. We're talking, like way back in the day, Silk Road, for example, right? Or if there's some sort of sex crime or drug crimes that involve crypto, and the government eventually gets their hands on that crypto, the government will dump that crypto. They'll just sell it for cash to support their own organization. That greatly impacts the price, the value for everybody else. So the big question is, why don't they just treat it like they do drugs, for example, right? If it's an illicit activity that these people were caught doing, okay, so destroy it. Well, don't harm more people. You're trying to be, law enforcement that's protecting people, and here you are dumping this crypto on people, and you're harming even more people, right?
Yeah.
Well, one of the promises that Trump had made is that the government will no longer be allowed to dump crypto. Of course, it's also great if they have some sort of reserve. Hopefully, their keys are protected. How does the FBI protect their keys when they do a seizure? Right? I don't know, but it seems at least that there must be some sort of good key control in the government so far. Let's hope if they have a giant reserve of Bitcoin, hundreds of millions or billions of dollars worth, that they know how to protect those keys.
Let's hope so.
So combine that with not being able to sell the stuff, and we're in for a good shape there.
Yeah, I hope so. Everything's looking more bullish. While we're on Trump, did you see Roger Vere's plea to Trump?
Yeah. So I saw him. I saw him begging, for mercy, basically saying that Trump's his only hope.
What do you think of his case? Do you think he's being targeted, or do you think he really owes that much in taxes?
So I read, all his charges when that came out, and it certainly appears that he purposely evaded paying, exit taxes to the tune of lots and lots and lots of money, right? Since crypto was invented, people have assumed or thought that, wow, if I just don't say anything about this, I'll be able to hide it, right? Well, that's not always the case, right? At least up to this point. And maybe it sounds like Trump may be trying to change this too. But up to this point, if you have capital gains tax, or if you're required to pay some sort of exit tax, you have to disclose your assets, whether those assets are a house, a car, your bank account, whatever it may be. You have to disclose that. It's the law, right? So if he purposely evaded, does that make him a criminal? Does that mean that he knew about a law and willfully disobeyed it and should pay the consequence for it? I don't know. Do you think that people of less stature, so people with less money, should also be allowed to just do whatever they want? Not pay their taxes or just claim whatever they want to instead of what they actually owe? Does he get a free pass because he's rich? And just because he likes Bitcoin and he has done good things in the crypto space, does that mean that we all should be cheering for a free pass for somebody who broke the law? I don't know. I don't know. We see a lot of that. Like Richard could be in the same boat. If Richard didn't pay taxes and he was supposed to, and he knew he was supposed to, and he willfully didn't do it, do we really want all the billionaires of the world to just pay whatever they want to and when they want to and lie on their tax forms? Or are we only calling for mercy for Richard because we think it'll help our own investment? I don't know.
Rhetorical questions, but yeah, interesting nonetheless. Talking about tax, obviously there are ways to be more efficient in crypto,
Absolutely.
especially since first off liquidity, and then obviously we've seen Flex and liquid loans come out, and where, I mean, not financial advice ever, but in certain parts of the world, well, in a lot of the world, debt is not taxable, right?
Yeah. And the United States is currently one of those places. If you have a loan from a bank, you don't have to pay taxes on that loan, right? You can go get $1 billion loan from a bank. You don't owe taxes on $1 billion earned income, or of $1 billion capital gains, right? It's borrowed money, right? That you may have an obligation to pay back at some point.
Something Trump's done quite a while.
Yeah. So the same applies when you do a home equity line of credit, or any other sort of line of credit against your own assets. And you could say, well, the same applies with crypto, right? If you take a loan against your own crypto, you never disposed of your original crypto. You never gave that to somebody else. It's still connected to your wallet address. You never sold it. All you did is put it into a smart contract that's still wrapped up into your own wallet address. So your original asset never sold, right? And when do you typically pay taxes? Upon a sale or a transfer. Well, you never sold or transferred. You still own the original asset. You took a loan against the original asset, and loans are typically not taxed, right? So when you have capital gains, you could pay as much as 36% taxes. So you could have all these gains, right? 36% of them wiped out immediately, right, due to taxes. Where if you took a loan against your same thing, right, even if you had a little bit of loss in swapping and routing back through into, you got to route through anyway to get back into something like Coinbase to cash out, right? So that's almost a wash. But like, even if there's some slippage because you took a loan and got one sort of asset that you then had to swap for a equal value asset somewhere else, it's not going to be 36%. It's going to be a fraction of a percent. And that was borrowed money, right? There's no capital gains there. You took a loan, right? So you're almost up 36% what other people might have been. There's also benefits of not selling and diminishing the quantity of the original asset that you have. And there's some interesting, really, really interesting math that you can spin it a number of ways, but it just drastically favors people who decide to take loans instead of selling their appreciating asset.
So I know we're going to do some basic overview of that and touching on that today.
Yeah. So if you had 10,000 coins and they were each worth $1, okay, so we'll say that you have $10,000 worth of some coin. But I have the same quantity. I have 10,000 coins. They're each worth $1 also. That's just what they're trading at currently. All right. And you decide to sell them, half of them. Let's say half of them. All right. But only when it appreciates, right? So maybe it appreciates, it even doubles in price. So you have 20 grand worth of coins. You say, wow, I'm 2x. I need to take some off the table. So you're going to sell. And you're going to sell, let's say, half your stack. All right, cool. You sell half your stack and you walk away. You got 5 grand. 10 grand of whatever you swapped into. USDC, DAI, some other stable coin, whatever it may be, right? You got 10 grand in stables, and you still got 10 grand of your original asset. Congratulations. You're a success story. You sold and you still had 10 grand of your original asset and 10 grand worth of stables you swapped into. You could go and tell everybody what you did and they'd think that you're some sort of success story. What people fail to bear in mind while this happens, though, is you no longer have 10,000 coins. You have 5,000. Okay, so if it continues to appreciate, you only have 5,000 coins that you're able to capture that appreciation. So let's say it happened again, right? You had 10,000 coins. They went up in price. They were each worth $1. They went up in price by 2. Okay, cool. You decided to sell half your stack, so you got 10 grand worth of cash. You've got 10 grand worth of tokens, but you've only got 5,000 of them left. And let's pretend that it 2x'd again. Okay, cool. You shaved another 10 grand off the table. Every time that it 2x'd, you only get to shave 10 grand off the table. But by the second time, you have 2,500 tokens. By the third time, you have 1,250 tokens. By the fourth time, you have 600 tokens. By the next time, you have 300 tokens. You started with 10,000, and if this thing appreciates and does a whole bunch of X's, and you just keep shaving money off the table, each time, it's actually harder and harder for you to get that next $10,000 worth of appreciation, because you have to do a 2x every time to be able to scrape another 10 grand off the table. By the way, if I never sold it, I don't have to do a 2x every time to get $10,000 worth of appreciation. It's very easy for me to get. So let me explain that. So we started with the same amount of tokens, 10,000. Okay? And I never sell. It does the same price appreciation as yours. So if it doubled in value, I have 20 grand worth of value. But I never sell. By the second time, it's worth 40 grand. By the next double, it's worth 80 grand. By the next double, it's worth 160 grand. You see where the difference is starting? If it did the same amount of X's for you and you were shaving some money off the table, yeah, you get to shave 10 grand a time off. But just a little ways in, and I'm already at 160 grand. Okay. And by the next time, if it did it again, 320 grand. And by the next time, if it did it again, 640 grand. And before you know it, if it did a bunch of doubles, which some cryptos do, right? I'm into the millions and millions of dollars worth.
Trump coin.
And yeah. And you're in the, you get to scrape 10 grand off, and it got harder and harder each time to do that. And I'm already in the millions and millions of dollars worth. Now, it's very hard, if not impossible, for people to not want to sell when they see the number go up. That's why it was so tempting for you. When your coin doubled in price, you said, holy cow, this is all free money. Let me sell some of these coins. And that sounds great, but what you're forgetting is if it continued to do that, you're losing out on the appreciation of the coins that you're getting rid of. Okay? And if you could only hold those, or even have a stop loss in place instead, or have taken a loan out against those instead, so you still have them and still capture that appreciation, you would have been much, much better. All right. So when you look at a DApp, a system such as Liquidity, Earn Protocol, Flex Protocol, Liquid Loans, it allows you to keep that appreciating value. Now, you'll hear people who don't know the systems well say, oh, but people can be liquidated. Yeah, absolutely. You can be liquidated. If you took a loan out at such a low collateral health that the price moved against you and it liquidated you. But guess what? You minted the stable coins in the beginning. And because you never sold any like the other guy, like you did, you may have 2, 4, 10, 100 times more coins than you would have had if you had been some sort of seller in the market instead. Okay. So you can almost use these systems as like a trailing stop loss and just continue minting more and more stable coins as the value goes up of the collateral asset. Some people choose to use the system like that, and it's a really, really good way to capture and secure some financial excellence for yourself when you're sitting on those stable coins, and no matter what, the price goes up of the collateral asset, you mint some more stable coins. The price goes up of the collateral, you mint some more stable coins.
So let's reiterate that point for people that might not understand that exactly. Obviously, you've taken a loan, right? You have a collateral ratio. As the price of the collateral increases, right, your collateral ratio increases, correct?
Yeah, your collateral health increases.
Yeah.
So all you do is mint some more.
Yeah, yeah.
If the price does a 2x, you say, holy cow, my collateral health is sitting at, whatever, twice as high as what you started with. Maybe you started with a 400% collateral health and the price 2x, and now you're sitting at an 800% collateral health. And you've got an overabundance of value in collateral sitting there backing stable coins that you minted. Literally just go in and mint some more. Mint some more. And you bring that collateral health down. Okay, and you lock in that price appreciation that you just witnessed for that collateral asset. You lock that in by minting yourself some more of that stable coin. Make yourself a bigger loan. Okay, you just get more and more and more of a bigger loan if the price were to go up. Now, if the price were to take a dip, sure, you're welcome to pay it back, if you want to. You're also welcome to sit there and do nothing at all and watch. And if you happen to be liquidated, but you captured all that price appreciation along the way, you're sitting on those in stable coins that you got in the form of a loan. Okay. And you have an overabundance of coins because you're not the guy who sold, diminishing his coin count. You just locked all that value in stable coins. Maybe you just protected yourself with a stop loss. Okay, so there's strategies here, and there may be different tax implications for if you are liquidated, so you have to research that as well. But the point here is there are tons of strategies, and if something were to appreciate in value a lot and continue appreciating, the person who will win every time during a bull market of an appreciating asset, the one who will win every time is the one who never sold and he took loans against his asset instead. The people who sell and they're just shrinking their coin counts do not win. They have success stories. Yeah, sure. They shave some profits off here and there. Congratulations. But the guy who held the longest and never sold, and maybe instead minted stable coins to protect himself and try and lock in some of those that appreciation, that guy wins because he's never diminished his original coin count.
Food for thought, especially as we're well into 2025 and it looks positive on many fronts. Hopefully we get the bull run that we all hope for. It's 4 years since 2021. So we have the EARN protocol live, which is using PLSX, as you can see on the screen, as collateral. There's the Flex protocol too, which uses HEX as the underlying collateral. You have the Liquid Loans protocol that uses Pulse. Yeah, getting okay with these protocols and finding out how they work could, as Jesse said, could protect you from yourself in a way, right? From selling on a 2x or a 3x. Here you can see that price appreciation and obtain liquidity, which before was kind of unheard of. So yeah, man, good to break that down today. Good to break that. Sorry, carry on.
Yep. Yeah, people certainly need to understand it. And one guy asked in the chat, do you have any research from previous protocols? Well, sure. One of them is very near and dear to us. We have a front end for it, by the way, and that's the Liquid Loans Protocol. And I think in their first year, fees earned, I think it was $1.7 million or something. I think that's the number that it was. $1.7 million for the fees in the first year, and that literally was spread across all the stakers. Liquidity is into the, I'm sure tens of millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars for the fees, but it's very substantial, and it's also very closely tied to the performance of the collateral asset itself. So in our case, that's going to be HEX or PulseX, right? If PulseX goes up in value a lot, let's say it does a 10x, and people have all this excess value in their vaults, what are they going to do? They're going to mint stable coins. Or even if there's people not using the protocol and they have a bunch of value and they've heard this message of, wait, I don't have to sell and dump the price on myself and everyone else. Let me just go mint some stable coins instead. And that ends up happening. You actually see the fees will perform a lot parallel, we'll say, with the performance of the PulseX or the HEX itself.
Yeah, there's definitely a correlation there. So, I mean, you've got ways to earn yield. Again, we talked about this and we won't go into it too deep, but obviously you can use the protocol, take a loan, right? That's the main function, but you've got the stability pool, the staking pool there, and other ways to use the protocol if you don't want to take a loan, right? You don't have to take a loan in any of these protocols. So there's multiple ways to use this. I'd say getting to understand it before, a big run up takes place is a good place to start. But thanks again, Jesse, for your time and coming down and breaking on some of this borrowing and lending protocol math. I think some people think that it's just black and white, and it's not. There are multiple ways to use it, and also it becomes substantial in the other way, right? When you don't sell and you see that price appreciation. You're a busy guy. Thanks a lot for your time. We'll see you next week at the same time. Anything else before we sign out?
Nope. Enjoy your week, y'all.
Thanks, man. And for any of our live dApps, you can find the links below in the description box. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you on the next one.